men are avoiding marriage, women are furious. They don't know why.
Marriage rates have been steadily declining over the past few decades. With more and more men opting to stay single, women seem alarmed and confused by this trend. The media often portrays groups of angry single women lamenting.
Where have all the good men gone?
But few have taken the time to really understand what's driving men away from marriage. In this video, we'll explore the root causes of this phenomenon and why it has left many women bewildered and outraged.
The shifting legal landscape.
For generations, marriage provided men with certainty over the paternity of their children and a stable family structure to pass on their legacy. It also gave them a loyal companion to share life's joys and burdens with. However, over the past 50 years, the legal context around marriage has undergone seismic shifts, which have fundamentally changed the risk-reward proposition for men. With the introduction of no-fault divorce in the 1970s, it became much easier for women to dissolve marriages. Whereas previously, specific grounds like adultery had to be proven, now either spouse can leave for any reason. This, coupled with an anti-male family court system, means divorce often entails severe financial and emotional penalties for men. One 45-year-old divorced man found this out the hard way. Despite being a loyal husband and good father for 18 years, his wife decided to cash out, claiming she wasn't happy anymore. She took the house, the kids, and 75% of his assets. He was devastated. He now warns his unmarried friends, marriage is like handing a loaded gun to your wife. You hope she won't pull the trigger, but there's nothing stopping her if she wants to. Custody laws also tend to favor women, based on the assumption that mothers are inherently better caregivers. One now single father recalls,
I had to move mountains just to get 50-50 custody of my daughters. The court didn't seem to care how great a dad I was, my ex-wife's lawyer said. Since she birthed them, she had a maternal advantage. It felt totally unfair.
This combination of easier divorces and biased custody decisions have made marriage a far riskier gamble for men than it used to be.
Decline of monogamy.
Marriage also depends on a mutual expectation of monogamy. But over the past few decades, those goalposts have markedly shifted. Where once infidelity was considered unacceptable, now it's often shrugged off as irrelevant. One twice-divorced woman observes,
Of course, my ex-husbands cheated. Men have needs, and when I stopped putting out after having kids, they went elsewhere. That's just normal male behavior today. I don't hold it against them.
At the same time, many women enthusiastically embrace promiscuity, with dating apps and hookup culture making no-strings-attached sex easier than ever. One 28-year-old nurse explains,
I'm at the peak of my attractiveness. Why would I limit myself to just one guy right now? I want to have fun and play the field before I get married.
Men realize this glaring double standard means marriage no longer guarantees sexual fidelity. As one 35-year-old man notes,
more women these days think monogamy is boring and prudish. But if I dare to sleep around as a single guy, I'm a womanizer seems like a stacked deck.
With cheating now culturally acceptable, and women abandoning monogamy themselves, the value proposition of marriage is substantially reduced for men.
Changing attitudes towards family life.
Finally, the very concept of family has also undergone major revisions lately. The traditional model of a male breadwinner supporting a stay-at-home, wife and kids is seen as regressive and outdated by many modern women. One 32-year-old career-driven woman states,
I'm extremely career-driven and don't want to be saddled down by a husband and babies. Honestly, the idea of being a homemaker cooking dinner every night seems like my worst nightmare. I want an exciting, independent life.
In addition, some view child-rearing as an inconvenient burden to be avoided. One 24-year-old graduate student proclaims,
Kids are way too much work. I love traveling, going out with friends, and all my hobbies. Why would I throw all that away?
Men interested in raising families are realizing fewer and fewer women share these traditional values. This removes another pillar supporting marriage. As we can see, men's retreat from marriage is rooted in how it has evolved from a lifelong partnership into a risky legal contract, coupled with changing societal expectations around fidelity and family life. This leaves modern single women angry, since the husbands and children they envisioned have failed to materialize. But berating men to man up or attacking their masculinity will not resolve these systemic issues. A wiser approach requires reflection, empathy, and realigning values so marriage once again becomes an appealing prospect for both genders.
The evolution of dating dynamics.
In the past, dating worked more straightforwardly. Men pursued women, and women responded to this male courtship. This created a natural polarity where masculinity and femininity could productively interact. However, modern dating dynamics have grown much more complex and chaotic, leaving both genders frustrated.
Empowerment or entitlement?
Women today rightfully want increased independence and empowerment. However, this sometimes crosses the line into entitlement. Some now expect men to approach them under draconian rules. Asking for her number without 10+ minutes of prior pleasantries constitutes harassment. He must pay for the first 3 dates, or he's a cheap jerk. She is free to ghost whenever she wants, but he better have the courtesy to send a closure text after 1 date, or he's a callous womanizer. This hypergamous attitude convolutes courtship, leaving men feeling persecuted for even trying to date. One software engineer remarks, "It's a minefield out there. Say one wrong thing, and you're literally Hitler. Go on one bad date, and she slanders you online as a creepy incel. I'm exhausted from always being on the defensive. It's just not worth it."
Social media dysfunction.
The rise of social media has also injected severe dysfunction into modern courtship. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok have produced armies of narcissistic clout seekers obsessed with image over substance. One 25-year-old man observes,
"My last Tinder date seemed more interested in taking selfies for her followers than getting to know me. I'm a real person to prop for likes."
In addition, these apps catalyze hyper-superficiality where potential partners are reduced to an algorithmically sorted catalog of photos. There's little room for nuanced human bonding. One college woman laments,
"I used to like meeting guys naturally through school or friends, but now if I'm not constantly posting hot pics and slid into dames, I basically become invisible. It's so pressurizing and depressing."
This obsession with self-image and instant gratification has made authentic partnership needlessly elusive.
Decline of feminine traits.
As women have, rightfully, embraced their masculine side, some have abandoned the complementary feminine traits which balance relationships. Attributes like nurturing, patience, and compromise have fallen out of favor as weak or antiquated. However, one male high school teacher notes,
"My most fulfilling relationships were with feminine women who embrace their role as emotional ballasts. They gently calm disagreements instead of reacting defensively. That's been sorely lacking lately."
Similarly, one female PIDES instructor observes,
"When dating, I make a point to highlight my feminine energy. This balances men's masculine drive. We both feel more secure in defined but equal roles. Modern women forget this harmony."
With femininity deprecated, relationships grow lopsided and unstable. Masculine and feminine poles no longer attract and stabilize each other. The turbulence in modern courtship has left both genders exasperated and relationships fraught. However, we shouldn't just condemn fickle women or commitment-phobic men. Rather, we must reflect on how massive societal shifts have disrupted the complementary dance between masculine and feminine. Authentic partnership requires reviving feminine qualities like empathy, patience, and nurturing. It requires abandoning masculine entitlement and ego. And it requires technology bringing people together, not driving them apart. By rediscovering balance, men and women can create connections that last instead of shallow bonds doomed to fail. There are still good men out there. Women must learn to inspire their noble instincts again. And there are still loving women. Men must relearn how to court them properly. With effort and understanding, we can restore dating to its former glory, where masculinity and femininity harmonize instead of clash. This will allow the formation of stable, fulfilling long-term relationships, but it must begin with open minds, not closed. The choice is ours.